All right, Northcentral Nfused April 2019. This is our podcast. Once again, I'm joined by our CEO and General Manager, Kevin Doddridge.
Good day.
Good day. Our Director
I really don't
of
know when
Safety-
people are going to watch this, so I figured the best thing is just good day.
Good week to you.
Right. Good week to you. Happy April.
Our Director of Safety and Loss Control, J.D. Cox.
Good to be here.
And our Director of Marketing and Business Development, Michael Bellapani.
Thanks, Justin.
It's no problem. So we have some things to talk about in April. This is a little bit of a short podcast, but we will be ending this podcast on sort of a semi-sad note. We do have a employee, our Customer Service Supervisor, Margaret Schaffner, is going to be retiring. We have an interview with her and her replacement, Ashley Sanderlin, who's stepping up to fill those very big shoes in our customer service department, so we'll be talking to them later. But it's just us this week. No outside businesses or bands or...
But that's sad/happy.
Oh, absolutely. No,
We're going to miss her, but, absolutely excited that she'll be able to...
I offered to trade spaces with her. She didn't take me up on that.
All right, so we'll start with our CEO and fearless leader here. What do you have for us in April?
You got to have a little fear to do this job. You need a little bit. But, we're transitioning in spring, which is a good thing. You'll see us, we always emphasize safety, but you'll see us probably take a little bit different approach as we transition into spring, and I'm sure JD will have some details, but we're moving out of the cold weather, the threat of ice, moving into the spring. Conditions will be where we're working quite a bit more. I'm sure the guys will enjoy that in the weather. But, we'll have those spring storms, so we need to continue to have that conversation with our membership that these spring storms are going to pop up and stay close in tune with the news and take everything they can at home to be safe, but also remember how to report an outage to us. So we'll be working on that throughout the spring. Also, we've discussed quite a bit the whole fiber project that we have going, and I'll probably just play off a little bit what I did last month. We're going through a very boring phase of that right now, but we are legally getting the telecom affiliate established. We're working on branding, Michael and I with the Godwin Group, to get it branded, set up with the Secretary of State. Really, the design work so far on it and the build out is about as much as Northcentral can plan and design. We're going to bring in probably some engineers to help us as the fiber starts to look more like a telecom entity. We'll need to bring in some people to help us with that. Really hope by the middle of summer we will know when we will have a company and when we will unveil it. And ultimately, to accomplish what we want to do is when we're going to start getting fiber to people's home and getting high-speed internet all throughout our area.
And you've been on TV quite a bit as a result of the legislation.
More than I'm accustomed to. But that just shows that there's an interest. There's a lot of excitement regarding this. And once again, if you're a cooperative and you want to engage your member, those customers that own you, you must try to come up with services that help our community that they lack right now. And that's really where this whole high-speed internet business and the whole thought of it several years came across. Much like we say with any other cooperative, when there's a need, the cooperative model can often go in there on a not-for-profit basis and cover that. I still have to use glasses to see what I'm talking about. The whole member engagement is something that's still very important. Making sure that our members know that we are a not-for-profit, know that we are governed by board members that they select. Kind of playing off that, we've just come back from a national conference that is partly a conference, partly a national business meeting, but also a significant amount of director education and management education. If it wasn't for things like director education, management education, there's the thought this fiber might not even be coming about when it is. It's all about member engagement. The director of training is an ongoing process, and our board is very enthusiastic about going through it. They took some classes this last go around. They will this summer. We often discuss how much it costs to train a lineman, and what's that cost roughly these days? It's astounding the amount of money that it costs to train a lineman.
It's very easily a couple $100,000 to get a lineman from when they walk in the door to where they need to be. Tools, equipment.
Right,
just the whole
and
nine
that's
yards.
to make sure they can work on the distribution system, they have knowledge of it, they work in a safe manner, they work in a manner where they don't get injured or anyone else. So as we spend that kind of money to train our linemen, it only makes sense that from a governance standpoint and a fiduciary responsibility that we train management and our board to do the same thing. We're trying to look through a lot of things like the member would. What do they want in their cooperative in the means of transparency? What do they need to know? Because ultimately, North Central wants to be an electric cooperative, a cooperative service company that is transparent, is engaged with our membership to where we know what services that they need and that we're able to supply them.
Okay. So that's something we're hopefully going to find out more in the midsummer, you said.
Right. As far as the high-speed internet company, I would say that we will have a lot more direction in midsummer on everything from phasing the build out so people in different communities can know when they can expect us to arrive there, what the pricing will look like, what the product will look like. Right now, I think that our membership will be very happy with the product. I think they will be satisfied with the pricing, probably surprised. The variable and the unknown right there is going to be the timeliness of the build out.
Okay. All right, and for April, we have some community events to talk about.
It's a busy month. Things are really starting to kick off community-wise in terms of fundraisers. And, of course, JD and I and some of our folks are busy in the schools, too. As the school year winds down, there's opportunities to get out there and visit classrooms and educate kids on electrical safety and other matters. But we have just wrapped up our scholarship application period. For most people that don't know, we offer a $1,000 scholarship to each of the schools that we serve. That's through North Central, and the application can be found at our website. We promoted it through social media. And we have a committee formed to review those, and we'll be announcing those winners in the coming weeks and presenting those awards at area Senior Awards Day and graduation ceremonies.
That money is handy when the kids go to the bookstore for the first time.
Oh, absolutely.
Amen.
So, real quick, the deadline for these scholarship applications is roughly in the
It's early March.
early March. So, if you have seniors or upcoming seniors, they're juniors now, they're going to be moving into the senior level of high school next year. Consider that. NorthCentralEPA.com. You can visit our link to the scholarship page. You print that off, fill it out. Chance to win $1,000 for your kids' education. That's
We'll have the 2020 scholarship application prepared, up and ready on our newly designed website this summer. So go out there and find that. Several events, fundraisers to mention, but that Byhalia Chamber Annual Awards Luncheon is a big event that they have at the Flame in Byhalia. That will be on April 11th. Y'all can call the Chamber office at 662-838-8127. They give out their annual awards for Business of the Year, Volunteer of the Year, etc. So it's always a great time. And a few golf tournaments to mention that we have mentioned in the past, but just to bring them up because they are still needing teams, sponsorships, donations, and participation. Those whole sponsorships are great for these not-for-profit organizations because it doesn't cost anything for them, and that's money that they're raising for their organization. North Mississippi Home Builders Association is having their annual Bob Williams Classic on April 12th at Wedgwood. That's going to be a PM start. They'll have lunch and other events out there besides the golf tournament, but it's always a good time. And the Olive Branch Rotary Club will have their annual Rotary Masters Tournament at Olive Branch Country Club on April 15th. And that'll be an afternoon start. Wesley Meadows is having their annual tournament at Cherokee on April 18th. And the same day, Olive Branch Chamber will have the James Lunsford Memorial Tournament at Olive Branch Country Club. Both of those tournaments start in the afternoon. You can get more information on them by visiting Wesley Meadows' website and the Olive Branch Chamber website at olivebranchms.com.
That Wesley Meadows tournament does go for a great cause. It's a Methodist Senior Services, and we've got one in Hernando, and there's several throughout the state. But the ability for these retirement homes to raise money means that Wesley Meadows and Methodist Senior Services can brag that they have never had to refuse one for inability to pay. And it's because they're able to raise money and get the money in this foundation. And once you get in one of their residences, I don't think it's a guarantee, but no one has ever had to been asked to leave.
Yeah, and the organization remains whole, and it's a great fundraiser.
It
so
is.
check that out, Wesley Meadows. I don't know the exact website, but if you look on Cherokee Valley Golf Club's website, it'll link you to the tournament information. Wayne Bartley's annual autism golf tournament will be on April 25th at North Creek Golf Club. That's a long-standing fundraiser that has raised a great deal of money for children with autism. So if you look on North Creek's website, it'll link you to the tournament. Also that same evening, North Central is hosting the Olive Branch Arts Council Young at Arts competition. Area schools such as Lewisburg, Center Hill, and Olive Branch, their art clubs have committed to submit art pieces into an exhibit which we'll display in our auditorium. They'll have an evening reception that night with judging, and the winners will be displayed in North Central's lobby area throughout the month of May. So,
And there's some seriously good talent.
Yes, there
that
is.
submit to that. So
yeah, they call them art clubs, but really it's an art program.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal work that they'll submit for that. Mark your calendars for April 27th on a Saturday. That's the countywide Earth Day celebration around the square in Hernando. Huge event. It kicks off the Hernando Farmers Market, which is one of the best in the country as far as some magazine ratings. But there's a community event. Everybody comes out. I think they have a 5K that morning, and weather permitting, it will be a great day outside.
It's always a great turnout, and it's kind of like the beginning of spring, and people are just coming out, enjoying it, bringing their pets, and really enjoying the atmosphere there. It's a good time.
Yeah, North Central's still working out the details, but we hope to be there with our demonstration trailer that day.
You'll run that when you're through with the 5K, right?
If I run the 5K, they might need to juice that thing up to revive me.
You're participating in the 0.5K, right, Kevin?
I'm out of town on business.
Still breaking in the new knee.
But that's fun, man. If you want to participate, it's free. It's great for the family. So it starts early in the morning and goes through 1 o'clock, I believe, on April 27th. If you want to be an exhibitor in that, you can look on DeSoto County's website, and there will be a link on their calendar for that.
All right.
Michael, also just like to remind everyone about May the 13th, the Lions Club golf tournament.
Yes.
Since March is Eye Wellness Month, and I know we're getting to the end of March and going into April, but just wanted to be sure to remind everybody about that. And if you're not familiar with the Lions Club organization, it's an organization that's really there for the benefit, especially of children who don't have eyeglasses. And really, it's astounding. Maybe there's a young child in school and they're really struggling in one of their subjects, and come to find out it's because they can't see well. And maybe they don't, have what they need to be able to go and have an eye exam and get a pair of eyeglasses. And that's a void that the Lion Clubs try to fill.
Yeah.
So certainly remember that golf tournament. Anyone interested in doing that event on May the 13th, I guess they can email us, and I can get the information to them, certainly.
Yeah, certainly. Reach out to podcast@northcentralepa.com, and we'll provide that information. This tournament is the second year, I think, that y'all have combined with Byhalia.
That's right.
Olive Branch and Byhalia Lions Club to have this tournament at Olive Branch Country Club, which is a great track, a unique place to play around here. So be sure to let us know if you're interested in that. We'll get you the information.
And it's interesting that you mentioned we end with eyeglasses because it is Eye Wellness Awareness Month.
Absolutely.
That's your subject today.
Absolutely. And just a couple things. In the workplace every year, 20,000 eye injuries, costing $300 million a year. So here at North Central, we have a very proactive system where we require employees to wear, protective eyeglasses and eyewear, personal protective equipment while they're working. But really, for the purposes of today, talking about just around the house, we're all starting to go out in the yard, cut the grass, trim the trees, things like that. A lot of eye injuries around the house. So, please, depending on what you're doing, make sure you wear the eye protection there. And then Kevin really teed up something that's very important this time of year. That's power line awareness. If a storm comes through and you see a power line down, most important thing, stay away from it. And secondly, report it. And you report it, I promise you. We're going to get there just as quickly as possible, and we're going to make it safe. And then we're going to get the lights back on.
And that number to report is 800-325-8925. Just had to throw that in there.
Very good. And then the other thing is this time of year, a lot of people are pruning trees around their house and around their property. And, we don't go very many years this time of year without somebody putting a ladder or trimming a tree or dropping a limb somewhere where it doesn't belong. So please, if that's something that you're considering doing around the house, please be aware where the power lines are at. If you have any questions, please call us. We'll send someone out and give you the absolute best advice we can. And it's a whole lot better to ask questions on the front end than to have to deal with an incident, if there's something happens, God forbid.
Even if you've had something that might have happened over the winter where a limb might have hit a line a little bit away from your house, and if you have an overhead service, maybe because of that you've got a little sag and that service may be lower than you're accustomed to. If it's a concern, you need to give us a call and go out there and make sure that we've got proper clearance too, because that can happen over the winter.
Okay. Anything else from you guys?
No.
All right, we're going to take a little quick break, and we will be back with our retiring customer service supervisor and our upcoming customer service supervisor. So we will wish Margaret the best in her retirement years. So if everybody wants to say bye real quick.
Well, we're not going to say bye to Margaret. We're just going to say so long. But it's
yeah.
I think we're in this room so people that watch the podcast may identify us as being some of the more important people in the organization. But let me tell you, it comes down to customer service, those people that touch the member either in person or by telephone daily. Margaret has been doing that so well for so long. There's not enough recognition you can give to the job that she's done. And now that we've got, it's very satisfying to know that you've got someone like Ashley who has worked with Margaret for such a long time and has got the skill set and the talent to step in there and do that job. And it's going to be exciting. It's looking forward to working with Ashley a lot.
All right. We will be right back. That Mid-South weather is tricky. Make sure to keep an eye on your thermostat as the temperatures rise and drop to ensure energy efficiency in your home. And remember, you can monitor your usage and manage your account by downloading the North Central app for Apple and Android devices. Okay, and we are back, and we are joined by our Director of Finance and Administration, Mark Nichols.
Hello.
And our current, what's the title?
Customer Service Supervisor.
Mm-hmm. And our upcoming Customer Service Supervisor. So Margaret and Ashley, thank you guys for joining us. We are doing a special segment on our podcast since we are saying goodbye to someone that's been working for us for more than a couple months.
Quite a bit. Almost 22 years.
Yeah.
Almost 22 years. So we wanted to kind of do an interview with both of you guys because you're leaving. You've been handling. How long have you been supervisor?
Since 2001. So
18 years. Okay, so you've been the supervisor for that long, and then now Ashley's stepping into that role, and she's the new face of the customer service department.
That's right.
Yep.
You can say a word. It's okay.
She's ready.
She was
Yes, I'm
actually the
ready.
first one we
I'm
interviewed in
excited.
this building.
That's right.
Yes, I
moving to
was.
this
Ashley
building.
was.
So-
Okay. So how long have you been working for North Central?
It's a little over 8 years. I started February 9th, 2011.
Okay. All right. So, Margaret, we're going to start with you. And you've already answered my first question. How long have you been working here? You
That's
said
right.
22 years. What is your favorite part of the job?
My favorite part of the job is interaction with people because I'm definitely an extrovert, and I can strike up a conversation with anyone that's willing. So helping customers understand something about their bill, something's going on about their bill, or how to lower their usage, being able to explain something to them. They may not be totally happy with the outcome, but if you can get them to be able to understand it, it's very rewarding.
Okay. What is your favorite memory?
I have
North
too
Central?
many memories to have a favorite, but some of my favorites would be our benevolence committee ventures when we do Thanksgiving baskets to the elderly and we play Santa to the community, so that's real fun. And then, of course, we have lots of events here in the office, from Christmas dinner to baby showers, so we're all a very close-knit group, and we care about each other.
Okay. So what are you looking forward to most in your retirement years?
Well, it couldn't be at a better time because I do love to work in the yard and garden, so that'll be my first take up a lot of my time. My mother lives close by, so I'm looking forward to get to spend some time with her, have grandchildren that will keep me busy. My husband and I like to travel. We hope to get to do a little more of that.
Okay. And what will you miss most about working at North Central?
Without a doubt, I will miss seeing my North Central family every day. So I will miss talking to customers whom I've built relationships with over the years that I get to hear from quite frequently, as well as other professional contacts that that I deal with regularly. So, but definitely my peeps here.
And we've talked about it before. I mean, she has a natural gift of just customer service. So, that whole thing that's a gift. That's not something you teach somebody. She has done that with not only the customers, but she's done that with the department as well. So there's a cohesiveness of that group that she's left a mark on, no doubt.
Thank you,
So
Mark.
is there any questions that you have for?
No, I don't have any trick questions or anything for her. She
We're
might,
trying to prepare for that.
she's not here very
Yeah,
long, so
really.
she doesn't have a lot to lose. So,
Maybe it's him being afraid on that side.
What he might find out.
I told him this morning I was going to miss him, and he said, "Yeah, right." And I said, "Stop saying that."
Well, he's such a big softie anyway.
Yeah, he is. He is.
He is.
all right.
And so stepping into your place, we had a little bit of a search and an interview process. And so Ashley Sandelin, you're going to be stepping up into this role. Are you
I am.
nervous?
No, I mean, yes, no. I'm very excited, but I'm filling some big shoes, so
Oh, absolutely.
yeah, that makes me nervous.
And so you said you've worked here for going on 5 years.
8 years.
8 years, sorry. Sorry. Okay, so what are you hoping to accomplish in your new role?
Well, we're such a strong knit group anyways, and I'm just really excited to continue on, what Margaret has built, with us as a very service-minded team already, and I just want to, build onto that.
Okay, so what are you going to miss most about Margaret?
Everything.
You needed a note card
No.
for that?
Yeah, because I have a list really long. No, she's only been such a great mentor to me. She is such a good friend.
Don't start us crying now. We told you.
I knew it was going to happen. We need drama on this
Yeah.
podcast.
No.
She look at her list again. She'll forget.
Yeah, look at your list.
Yeah. Now my eyes are all red.
Yeah, we said we weren't going to do this, so. But I said I may do like my grandson when he's just crushed and he has a little.
Yeah, that's what I'm just
It
trying
just
to
kills
do.
him, so we're just,
And once again, on her side, she's the same servant type,
Absolutely.
open type person, open personality type. So she's going to have a lot of the same strengths that Margaret has. That customer service
agree.
is just built in, and I don't anticipate her having any problems at all. She's picking up on it quick, and has done very well.
If you don't have trouble, if you don't have to try to be nice, and that's
Yeah.
Ashley has that going for her too. Is that if we can help some things we can't do, but if we can help the customer, why would we not want to? If it's something that
And
we
there's a lot of
so,
common
yeah.
sense type decision making that this position has to make, that are non-routine type situations that require that common sense type decision making, like I said, and that's not just something you teach somebody as well. That's a gift that certain individuals have, and certain ones don't. So
Yeah, always looking at the big picture of things and problem solving.
And that's something that's required in that role.
Yes, definitely.
And one of the things you mentioned this comes naturally to Ashley. One of the things I've noticed about working here, and it's only been less than 2 years for me, we do have the friendliest CSRs, customer service representatives.
We
so
do.
it's any one of them are great to talk to and get to know.
and all have
work
different strengths and weaknesses,
Yeah,
and they
that's right.
complement each
Yes.
other very well.
Yes.
All right, so Ashley, I have to ask. You've worked here for 8 years. This is not your first job, is it?
No.
Well, how is this job compared to other jobs that you've worked?
Definitely much more challenging. We have to be everything, like we've said before, between doctor, lawyer.
We call it Dr. Lawyer, Indian Chief. We do it all.
Seriously, yes. Like I said, we've had customer service in the power company is completely different from customer service somewhere else. And I've been in different, jobs that, yes, I can tell you it's way different.
I think it goes for every one of us that have worked outside of a nonprofit power cooperative
Yes.
before.
Yes.
And most of our membership doesn't have any contact with anybody but this group. So this group is the face, the heart, the voice, what somebody pictures North Central as. So very important positions that don't get the credit they need a lot of times just because of that.
Okay.
They
Right.
represent us
Okay.
very well.
Yes.
Well, I have a question for you, Mark, since we asked Ashley and we got that reaction out of her. What are you going to miss most about Mark?
Oh, my goodness.
Thank
Oh
you.
gosh, I didn't know if I was going to have to come up with anything. I'm just going to miss like she said, the interaction we have. We've had a good working relationship. I don't consider one or the other being a supervisor. We work together. Worked with her for 22 years the whole time. So,
You were here when I came.
it'll be a change, but I think we've made that change, and we've worked well through the process to do that.
We've seen a lot of changes in 22 years.
Yeah,
I
a
guarantee
lot
you.
of different
Yeah.
things have happened in the last 22 years, but just having that person you can go to that you're familiar with, and that comfortable. How do you say it? Comfort.
We're
level
comfortable.
there. But like I said, we worked through the whole transition process and getting somebody in place, and it's not been something we decided over a couple of weeks. This has been going on since October. She was nice enough to give us a little bit of warning ahead of
Since
time.
July, yeah.
At first she told me like 4 years, and then it turned into 2 years really quick, so I don't
Yeah.
know. But anyway, she gave us plenty of time, so we started looking in, putting this together in October and getting interest and all. It's been a very deliberate process. We don't take this lightly at all. It's not going to be an easy replacement, but at the same time, I think, Ashley will do fine. She's, like I said, she's got a lot of the same personality
Qualities,
traits.
yep. Mhm.
So
That's a compliment.
that is a compliment. I agree.
Well, I will answer my own question as well. One of the things I've enjoyed working with you on a professional level is working with you to try and catch scammers that have called up our members.
we have.
I've worked pretty much with every customer service rep that we have because they all get different numbers, and we've tried to inform members of when these people are trying to take their hard-earned money.
Right.
And on the personal level, it would be following you around on Thanksgiving while we were handing out food baskets, and then trying to convince you to do an interview on camera
Right.
for our social media.
Well, Justin's had this knack for wanting to interview me when my hair is
It was windy. And she
Yeah,
was,
like,
she
really
was-
today,
she was just
Justin?
like,
And-
No.
yeah, no.
we had to have somebody stand beside her and
Yes.
put his arm around her.
Yes.
So
Hold
she
it down.
wasn't- Yeah.
But speaking of fun memories, we would have had some fun memories about the scammers if we could have done that on the podcast.
Yeah.
Well, you can always find those videos
Yeah.
on our Facebook page because it's really fun to try and catch them.
Yeah.
And they don't they don't anticipate me wasting so much of their time.
Exactly.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being a part of this podcast and being a part of North Central for
You're very
as
welcome.
long as you have. And Ashley, we look forward to you stepping up and moving into your new roles.
Thank you. I'm excited.
All right. So this has been North Central Infused. Thank you guys. We will be back in May.